The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Annie Chen walked to the podium, her boots echoing against the crystalline floor. Behind her, the holographic display still showed the smoking ruins of New Jakarta, humanity's largest colony. Outside the Sol system, 12 million souls, reduced to ash in a calculated strike by the Vexither hegemony. Massey Rodriguez stood in the shadows near the Earth delegation, his military uniform crisp despite the exhaustion in his eyes. He had been on planet during the attack, one of the few survivors pulled from the wreckage. The burns on his hands were still healing, hidden beneath synthetic skin that itched with every breath he took. "Honorable members of the council," Annie began, her voice steady despite the rage burning in her chest. "For 300 years, humanity has played by your rules. We've honored your treaties, respected your borders, and embraced your ideals of galactic civilization." The assembled aliens shifted in their seats. The Keltheran representative, a being of pure light and condescension, flickered with what might have been impatience. The Drokoth ambassador, whose species had been trading partners with Earth for centuries, looked away. Annie's hands gripped the edges of the podium. "When the Vexither destroyed our merchant vessels, we filed complaints. When they enslaved our colonists on the Rim, we negotiated. When they violated our territory, we issued diplomatic protests." Her voice grew harder. "And when all of you told us that violence was barbaric, that warfare was beneath civilized species, we listened." Massey watched as the council members exchanged glances. He knew what was coming. They had practiced this speech a dozen times on the journey to the council station. But Annie had insisted on speaking from the heart when the moment arrived. "Today, I stand before you with the ashes of 12 million human beings on my conscience," Annie continued. 12 million people who believed that civilization would protect them, who trusted that justice would prevail. She paused, letting the silence stretch. "They were wrong." The Keltheran representative pulsed with indignation. "Ambassador Chen, humanity agreed to the Accords of Non-Aggression. Your species pledged to resolve conflicts through dialogue and be silent," Annie said, her voice cutting through the chamber like a blade. The room erupted in shocked murmurs. No one spoke to a council member that way. Massey straightened, his hand instinctively moving to where his sidearm would have been if weapons were permitted in the chamber. Annie continued, ignoring the protests. "For 3 centuries, we've been the model citizens of your galactic community. We learned your languages, adopted your customs, and suppressed our own nature to fit your definition of civilized." She pulled out a data chip and inserted it into the podium. Behind her, the hologram shifted to show something new. Massey had seen the footage before, but it still made his blood run cold. Earth's shipyards, once dormant museums of humanity's warlike past, now blazed with activity. Thousands of vessels, warships that predated first contact were being pulled from mothballs, refitted and armed. Factories that hadn't produced weapons in 300 years now ran day and night. "As of this morning," Annie announced, "Earth has formally withdrawn from the Galactic Accords. We are done being cultured. We are done being civilized by your standards." The council chamber descended into chaos. Delegates shouted over one another, their translation devices creating a cacophony of outrage and fear. The Drokoth ambassador stood, his multiple arms gesturing frantically. "You cannot do this. The consequences." "The consequences?" Annie's laugh was bitter. "The consequence is that humanity remembers what it is. We are the species that crawled out of caves and conquered a world of predators. We are the descendants of warriors, survivors, and builders who turned a hostile planet into a paradise." She leaned forward. "And then we forgot that lesson because you told us to." Massey stepped forward now, joining Annie at the podium. His presence was deliberate, a scarred soldier standing beside a diplomat, a living reminder of New Jakarta's cost. "The Vexither believed we were weak," Massey said, his voice rough. "They thought 300 years of peace had made us soft. They looked at our empty shipyards and our cultural exchanges and our poetry festivals, and they thought we had evolved beyond violence." He met the eyes of each council member in turn. "They were wrong," and he pulled up another hologram. "Fleet positions, troop movements, resource allocations. Within 6 months, humanity will field the largest military force this galaxy has seen since the Keltheran expansion." Wars, within a year. We will have secured our borders and eliminated every Vexither military installation in human space. This is madness. The Keltheran representative shrieked. You will destabilize the entire region. The Accords exist to prevent exactly this kind of barbarism. No, Annie said quietly. The Accords exist to keep species like mine in check, to ensure that the old powers maintain control. She straightened her jacket. But here's what you all forgot. Humanity didn't join your council because we needed protection. We joined because we wanted to believe there was a better way, Massey added. The Vexither just proved there isn't. Not when predators wear the mask of civilization and councils issue condemnations. Instead of justice, Annie gathered her materials, preparing to leave. We're not asking for your permission or your approval. This is a courtesy notification. Humanity is withdrawing from galactic affairs until we've dealt with the Vexither threat. When we return, if we return, it will be on our own terms. As they turned to leave, the Drogoth ambassador called out, and if the council declares you in violation, if we sanction Earth? Annie paused at the doorway, glancing back over her shoulder. Try it. See what happens when you threaten a species that's done playing nice. Massey followed her out, and behind them, the council chamber erupted once more. But neither of them looked back. They had delivered Earth's message. Humanity was done being cultured, and the galaxy was about to remember why that should terrify them.